We are at a nursing home in Lunner, north of Oslo. Systematic use of SET has given extremely good results in the treatment of the elderly. Lunner municipality is taking part in a government-sponsored development project. The purpose of the project is to map the effect of rehabilitating the elderly using the SET concept and Therapy Master after strokes and fractures, especially femoral fractures. This stroke patient is only one of many who are activated and exercised daily with Therapy Master at the Lunner Home for the Elderly.
For et halvt år siden så fant vi ut det at nå skal vi få oppheng rundt omkring i...
Physiotherapist Reidun Gulli tells us that 6 months ago they installed a Therapy Master suspension system in the different wings and in the rooms of patients with fractured hips.
Hoftebrudd var at vi kunne få det...
After that, things began to happen.
Og etter det så begynte det å skje ting.
Vi skulle ha hatt mange flere. Det er mange her som trenger det.
Alle trenger det vel egentlig?
Ja.
Vi fikk mer respons.
The physiotherapists got a good response from the staff because treatment could be performed locally, says Reidun Gulli. It was easier to use Therapy Master. The staff saw that the patients liked performing the exercises and that they actually got better after a short period of time and a few exercises. 10 months ago, this patient, Helga, had a stroke, explains her nurse, Liv Samuelsson. When she came to the nursing home, she was not even able to sit on the edge of her bed. She fell over and had absolutely no sense of balance. Now she can walk on her own without any support. Naturally, this is very important for the patient's self-confidence.
Det har blitt faktisk ganske moro å jobbe her. Vi som fysioterapeuter får tid til å ta oss av mer tyngre ting.
It is fun to work here now, says Reidun Gulli. We physiotherapists have time for the more demanding tasks, whereas the simple exercises practically go by themselves, because they have been integrated into the staff's ordinary working hours and treatment of the patients.
Og jeg synes det er veldig moro nå å høre tilbakemeldinger om at...
And it's nice to get feedback from the staff, who say that they don't feel that it takes time, but rather that it gives them more time.
Du får kjemperotasjon i hofteleddet her.
Ja, det er bra.
Reidun Gulli gives the patient instruction and confirms that the exercises are going better than just a few days ago.
Da får du det. Og så får du
den rett?
Ja, nå er det rett. Ja. Ser bedre ut dette nå enn på torsdag, og det er ikke mange dager siden. Nei. Tidligere så hadde vi jo alle terapimastere inne på fysioterapien.
Previously, all the Therapy Master equipment was in the treatment room and the physiotherapists tried to get a nursing staff to take the patients there. This did not work. When the equipment was moved into the lounges, the nursing staff responded differently. Reidun Gulli understands this perfectly because the equipment was closer at hand and more easily accessible. We experience that the personnel are becoming increasingly curious about this, explains Unni Holm, who is a nurse's aide. Some are very eager to help the patients use the equipment, while others are more skeptical. We see that the personnel is increasingly more eager, that they are beginning to stimulate the patients and are more curious about the equipment's possibilities. We join Reidun Gulli in the home of 80-year-old Lovise, who suffered fractures in her hip and upper arm a year ago. She has now packed away her cane. Reidun Gulli confirms that she has made great progress and praises Lovise for her perseverance in training. The physiotherapist asks the patient to get ready. It is important that the patient is self-sufficient. Therapy Master is so easy to use and adjust for different exercises that Lovise has managed to treat herself after instructions from the physiotherapist. Motivation and a sense of security are key words for the elderly.
Husker du når vi filmet første gangen, når vi skulle gjøre dette, eller du skulle gjøre dette?
Lovisa is an example of what home exercise can do for those who want to make an effort. Reidun remembers well how it was when Lovisa began using Therapy Master 10 months ago.
For da hadde du 3 puter hadde du under da.
She needed 3 pillows under her head. Her back ached if one of the pillows was removed.
Det ganske fantastisk, den utviklingen som vi har sett.
Development during the 12-month treatment period has been fantastic, reports Reidun Gulli.
Hun var veldig positiv, jeg har kjent deg fra før.
Treatment started at a nursing home, but after 2 months, Lovisa wanted to move home again. She was positive to the idea of doing exercises on her own, but couldn't bear the thought of going to the physiotherapist every time she did her exercises. They agreed to hang a Therapy Master from the ceiling above Lovisa's bed. Under the supervision of the physiotherapist, she started training her hip and arm. The development was tremendous. 10 months later, she had performed her own exercise program 300 times, only 10 times under the supervision of her physiotherapist. Lovisa has osteoporosis, and 10 years ago she had several fractures. After her exercising at home, she is now better than she has ever been since then. By performing effective exercises at home, the patient is spared strenuous trips back and forth to the physiotherapist, and the exercises may be performed much more often. In addition, the government's expenses connected with transport and treatment decline, and fewer patients need nursing home accommodations. Reidun Gulli also notes that Lovisa's arms are much better. Lovisa confirms this, although she admits that she still can't reach up to the top cupboards in the kitchen. Other than this, she manages most everything just fine. Reidun Gulli believes that it is important that the patient does not become dependent on the physiotherapist. Instead, the patient should become independent, so that the physiotherapist's job is to stop by occasionally to check on developments and to discuss the next phase, and of course, to have a nice cup of coffee.
Kanskje diskutere litt grann, og ellers drikke kaffe, og det koselig. Reidun Gulli and her husband Marcel have their own physiotherapy institute where they have installed about 20 Therapy Master exercise devices. They perform all kinds of treatment, from that of stroke patients and work-related injuries to rehabilitation. Når armen din henger sånn oppe,
Reidun Gulli explains to Berit, a stroke patient, that because Berit's arm is hanging in the Therapy Master's sling, Reidun does not have to hold her arm or place pillows under it to raise it up. Thus, Reidun is freer to work with the patient.
Og da kan jeg jobbe mer. Da er jeg friere til å jobbe med deg. Berit nå kommet så langt at det går med stokk.
Berit has now progressed so far that she can walk with a cane or with a helper. The next step is to improve her balance and increase her independence. Therefore, she tries the sliding, ceiling-mounted suspension system. With this device, she can walk diagonally and get a better understanding of how to use her entire body to improve her balance. The arm is no longer spastic, and the therapist believes that this improvement is a result of the fact that the patient must use her own body, which has been good for her.
Må bruke sin egen kropp, så tror jeg det bra med utfordringer.
The treatment program focuses on variation and challenges in the exercises. This is also the case for different patient groups that may consist of patients with rheumatism, stroke patients, and patients with other neurological complaints. Therapy Master may be adapted to the different needs of the elderly by using additional equipment that is both simple and inexpensive. Various supportive boards may be hung in straps, for example. You can mount the suspension system in a variety of ways that may be adapted to the skills of each individual patient.
Magnhild og Aslaug, de har bare frigjører I en vanlig...
Two of the patients used a rope release function in an ordinary Therapy Master and can pull on the ropes with slight frictional resistance. The other two patients should not have this resistance. Therefore, they have the ropes over extra pulleys in the version called Therapy Master Professional. With this setup, there is no resistance in the system. You can use rope or elastic cords to hang up the sling under the elbow. Using elastic cords has its advantages, however. When the arm moves backward now, a rope would have become too loose and would not have provided good support, whereas the elastic cord pulls upward, which is also more pleasant for the patient. If I had not started with this training program and massage, I don't know how things would be now, says Aslaug, who is 75 years old and has rheumatism. If you just sit in a chair or lie in bed, things go only one way. You get worse. Åse Engen tells us that she has had back and shoulders complaints. If she does not use Therapy Master for a period of time, the problems recur. Especially when I'm tired, I feel that it helps a lot to exercise, she says. When I use Therapy Master, my body feels much better and then it is easier to work without being in pain.
Så det ikke noe tvang, men det rett og slett, jeg synes det litt dårlig å bruke nå. Det litt morsomt å drive med, for det masse ting du kan...
I do not feel that I am being coerced to exercise, and Therapy Master is easy to use. I think it's fun that the equipment can be used in so many ways.
Plaget av litt hovne ben og litt grann av åreknuter, og da synes jeg kjempefint å henge.
I'm also somewhat bothered by swollen legs and varicose veins, and it feels good to hang by my legs. It loosens me up and is the best exercise that I do for my legs, my back and my neck.
Det beste øvelsen jeg gjør både for ryggen og nakken min.
Det var min tur, så nå får du gi deg.
Using Therapy Master and performing other exercises is all important to getting my blood circulation going, says 53-year-old Ole Engen, who has arthritis in his hips as well as spondylitis. After I started doing these exercises daily, the symptoms in my shoulders have almost completely disappeared and have had no inflammation. Now I work 4 days a week and go to the physiotherapist once a week, where I do exercises and have physiotherapy. This is the only way I can function adequately. The relaxation I achieve by using Therapy Master is excellent for me, and it increases the circulation in my sore joints.